Hey everybody. You know, sometimes we do videos that are EOC and informational. Sometimes we do videos that are more just fun for your safety. This video is about an upcoming block lunch drill and just safety in general. So when we talk about the level of importance of videos, this one's probably a really important one. We would hope and pray that never do we have a person come in this building that tries to hurt anybody. But the reality is that could happen. And so it's going to take all of us knowing what we would do in that situation to be better prepared and save lives potentially. You know, we've had several medical lockdowns this year, and we've had to call the ambulance, and y'all have done a really excellent job. But, you know, I come on and say we need to lock down and get in a room because it's a medical emergency. But this is a different kind of lockdown. It would be if we had an active shooter or someone come in this building that's very dangerous with a machete or a weapon. And so what we're going to do coming up, and Miss Garrison's going to give you the date, we're going to have a block lunch drill. Because I think, you know, I don't know, anyone could come in anytime, a scary person. But much less block lunch would be a little chaotic if they came in. So we have a drill so that you kind of get a feel. And I think you're going to hear Miss Garrison say many times, the bottom line would be you would get to a safe place like this. Wherever you are, you're gonna get somewhere we're going to lock you down. So today's kind of a serious talk. So I'm going to let Miss Garrison start going over some things. And then I want to remind you of some safety things that we've had come up still again. And so, when is the drill, Ms. Garrison?
So, we're going to do our drill on Tuesday, January the 12th. That'll be during the block lunch period.
So, tomorrow.
So, first of all, just a couple of general reminders. When you go into a lockdown, what does that look like? What does it mean? Well, a lockdown means that you're in your classroom, the door is shut and locked, the lights are out, every person in the class is down on the floor, not sitting in their desks, in a corner somewhere, kind of out of the way, out of sight of any kind of interior or exterior windows. We wouldn't want anybody to be able to look in from outside the building and see you, or look in through any windows that might be inside the building and see you. So it's really important to be out of sight. Lights should be off. No cell phones, no technology, nothing like that. There's a couple of reasons for that. One is because obviously, you know, your technology shows kind of light, and so that could be a sign to an active shooter or somebody in the building that we don't want that. You know, also because it's really important that we keep the building as secure as possible, and as scary as it might be, if we have people who are, you know, panicking and texting or doing something out to the community and sending false information, it could create an even more dangerous situation. So whether it's a drill, whether it's the real thing, we really want to encourage you guys to stay off of that. Let the professionals do the job that they have.
We will be communicating with them.
Absolutely.
Trust me, if anything were to happen. So we have a drill
Right.
Tuesday. What time? I think we're going to wait till the main campus kids leave.
Right. So if you typically ride a bus and are gone at the end of block lunch, then you will not be participating in this. We'll wait until around after 12:05 sometime. So probably between 12:05 and 12:20 sometime would be the time that we're going to do it. I'm just going to do a rundown of kind of, if you are in this area in the building, this is where you're going to go. So really pay attention. You know where you typically are. If you typically, you know, spend your time in the table sports room, or if you're usually in tutoring, or if you like to just hang out down by the library or wherever you tend to be, really pay attention, because you're going to want to know where to go in that situation. So first, I'm just going to start. The biggest area in our building is our academic classrooms. So obviously, if you're anywhere on the second floor, you're near an academic classroom, or if you are on the other side of the stairwell, kind of from the elevators back into the different classroom areas, that's what we call the academic hallways, academic areas. If you are in upstairs or downstairs in that area, when this occurs, you're going to go to the nearest classroom that is open and unlocked. Obviously, if you're already in a classroom because you're involved in a club or in tutoring, you're going to stay in that classroom. But if you're in the hallway or the restrooms or anything like that, then you're going to immediately, when I say immediately, I'm saying teachers shouldn't keep the doors unlocked more than about 10 seconds. So you have about 10 seconds to jump up if you're sitting down, whatever. Find a classroom, the door's open, and go into that teacher's classroom. Doesn't matter if you know them or not. That's okay. That's part of the drill. You want to get to safety in a locked classroom. If for some reason you are somewhere or you can't get to a classroom within that 10-second time frame, then any kind of open room, it could be back into a bathroom if you just came from one. It might be some of the teacher workrooms and that kind of stuff. I know that the doors may or may not lock at this point, but if you find that you're stuck in the hallway and all the classrooms are locked, the second safest place is just to get out of sight, whether it's locked or not. And so that's where you would go. That's what you would do. Look for any type of place that you could hide. So do you have anything to add to that?
No, I think that's perfect.
Okay. If you are in the hallway, that main hallway, kind of where Ms. Flores tends to sit, between the stairwell, around the library area, up to the front doors, then you're going to go into the library. And there'll be teachers and adults that will help push you there. But just know, if you're sitting by those bistro tables in that area, that's where you're going to go into the library and take direction from the adults that are there. If you are in the hallways down, by the trophy cases.
Can I interrupt one
Sure.
second? Teachers, could you do me a favor? Could you be writing on your board? So if you're near a classroom, you go in the classroom. Just write that on the board. So visually, those kids that are visual, 'cause it's a lot to keep up with.
Sure.
If you're in the main hall, library, back rooms, we're going to get in there quick. We are going to be quiet. We are going to hide like we're not here. Because that's the goal of the whole drill, for no one to know where we are. Where 1,200 kids disappear. That's the goal. So far, those are the two things.
Right.
And would you write on your board that you're going to have less than 10 seconds to get in a room? Last time we did this practice drill, kids were like moseying. Now, I can only imagine if you were hearing gunshots, you would not be moseying. But we're not going to mosey, which is a word my kids might not know. That just hit me.
Right.
You will not be going slow. Mosey, that's what that means. You wouldn't be going slow if you heard shots, I assure you. But I need y'all, even on the drill, you have less than 10 seconds. What a teacher's going to do is open the door. They are going to go like this. They're going to wait just a second. They're going to look, and they are going to lock that door, move the kids over, cover the thing, shut the blinds, done. If you're in the bathroom, you better pull your pants up quick and run. You can't just take your time drying your hands. Things would be locked and done. So those are 3 things teachers have on the board so far. So now what area of the building are you in?
Basically, just the next area is still the main hallway down by the trophy cases in that fine arts hall. If you're in one of those areas, you're going to go either to the Mr. Champion's art room, which is room 135, it's right behind the trophy cases, basically. Or if you're in the fine arts hallway, then down towards the table sports room. Those 2 rooms are going to be open. They're pretty large rooms. That's where you're going to go to. Again, any adult that's in that area is going to help direct traffic to where you guys need to go. The key again is moving fast, getting where you need to be within the 10 seconds. If not, anywhere that you can find that you can be out of sight is going to be the best location. If you're in the gym playing basketball, that kind of stuff, or if you're in that hallway down by the gym, then you're going to go into the locker rooms, the girls' locker room, the boys' locker room. Again, the adults will be there to direct you for that. Just know you don't want neither of the gyms are considered a secure location. Way too many doors, way too many opportunities for people. You couldn't hide. People can still get in. So do not end up staying in one of the gyms. Make sure that you are exiting that area. If you happen to be in the weight room or in one of the rooms further back, you are already in a secure location. So you would just make sure those doors are shut and stay in that location. For the students who are in the cafeteria or the hallway right by the vending machines, right behind, if you're still waiting in line or sitting there to eat lunch, all of those students, if you're in the cafeteria, most of the students are going to go into the kitchen, into the lunch line area and back into the kitchen and move to the back, and there'll be adults again to help direct that. If you happen to be back by the little snack bar that's kind of in the back of the cafeteria, you're going to exit the cafeteria, go right across the hall to either room 139 or the Wii room, which is room 140, the gaming room, and you'll be in those places. So again, if you're by the vending machines or in the cafeteria, you'll either go into the lunch lines in the kitchen area or across the hall to room 139 and 140. So that covers most of our area now. One area we haven't talked about really is if you happen to be outside. If you're outside a soccer club, or if for some reason there was a bus that was still there, you were still outside waiting for the buses, and you're kind of out in that bus lane area. If you're that far outside, you really don't want to come back into the building if we go into a lockdown. You don't want to come back into a potentially dangerous situation. So for our drill, if you're on the soccer field or out in that bus line, maybe you're in the process of going out or in the process of coming in, you're going to go with the adult that's out there. You're going to go back behind the softball field area of the fence. It's fenced in, it's locked. You're not actually going in there. You're just going to be moving back behind there. Again, out of sight, kind of get down low to the ground, and wait until you know that the drill is over. Which we will talk about here in just a minute about how you'll know that. So that I think covers most of the areas. If you happen to be in the office somewhere, the office staff, they're aware of where they need to go. There's lots of little offices and various things. So there'll be an adult in there to direct you as to what room you should go if you actually are in the office or in the nurse's office or that kind of thing. And I think that covers pretty much all the locations.
Let me talk about a couple of things.
Okay.
What about... So if you're outside, you're going to stay outside. But let's talk about why, if I'm inside, I don't want to run outside. And we're just talking real here.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that's scary to talk real, but real is important. We don't want you all running outside because we would not know if there's someone else out there that's going to hurt people as they come outside. So I would not be the one to just head out the front doors either, to be honest. I wouldn't. If you're already outside, you're either already in trouble or you're the safest people in the building. I don't know which, but we're not going to run outside. The courtyard for the drill, those of you that eat in the courtyard, we'll probably just have you come in.
Mm-hmm.
But if you are really out there, I mean, I'm thinking real versus drill, okay? I don't want y'all to run for the drill, okay? But they would go to Kohl's.
Yeah, I would not say run across the street like to the neighborhood across Summit. I don't want you running across the street in traffic, but I would say, if nothing else, go to the south side of the building, if nothing else, or even go down to Kohl's. From my perspective, ultimately our goal is reunification with your families. So if you all scatter, and that's going to be the tendency, and I understand that that's going to be the tendency, if something were to happen in the lunchroom, a bunch of people are going to bail out those doors. We need to know where you're at, because I need to know that you are not hurt or injured somewhere. So I need to get you back to your families. So lock down in a secure place, and if you are out there, don't just run home, because at some point we need to be able to account for where you're at, so we can get you back to your families.
And just so you know, there's kind of a couple of key things. If anything ever happens, and for the last 2 years we've dismissed midday. So that's a prime example of something that could happen that's not dangerous, but that is weird. We always go back to second period. Always. Mm-hmm. If there's a disaster, second period. If, this is silly, a tidal wave runs through half the building, we go back to second period. If there's a fire in this part, we go back to second period. If we're going to release for a snow day, we go back to second period. Second period is always where we're going to reunite, because that's when the most kids are here. What happens if I have second period off campus? Library. And then the other thing, always second. Teachers, if you write that on the board. No matter what, if we have to divide, second. Kohl's is always going to be our place that we're going to go if we have to evacuate. So let's say a train, well, I think they're not, I think the tracks, well, no, they're
They do work.
They do work.
If a train derailed or there was a hazmat issue or something like that, yes. Kohl's is our standard reunification. We have an agreement with the store that's where we will reunite with families. So if you want to go home and talk to your parents, hey, we ran this drill, make sure that they know that they know that Kohl's is where they will eventually respond to come pick you up, because it won't be the school. The school will be cordoned off, so nobody can get in except emergency personnel.
Couple of things. We're going to do this drill 12:10 whenever, right in there, sometime after 12:05. I need you to have eaten by then. Okay, so next Tuesday, could you eat by then? Or else wait. Well, it's going to take about 10 minutes at least. So we're gonna go back to second period after that. We're gonna drill what we do. We're gonna go back to second, then we'll dismiss you to third. If a real thing happened and you heard shots or something, you obviously wouldn't care much about your hamburger. You would leave your food and go. I think you know that, but you just want to say it. Don't even bother with your food. Wouldn't be important at that time. That's why also we're doing this drill at that time, so you can eat. We don't want you to have to practice leaving your food. No one wants to leave your food. In this building, so you know, we always keep the doors locked with magnets in them. So quickly, whether you had a sub, whether you had a teacher misplace their keys, it wouldn't matter. We can move that magnet and shut the door and lock it. So if you ever notice the door unlocked, I encourage you to tell your teacher, because sometimes we do unlock these by accident. Things should always be locked for that reason, so we're ready to go.
Right.
What else you got, Ms.
Well,
Gibson?
basically, just summarizing, once the drill is over, and you kind of already mentioned it, then we are going to report, everyone will report back to second period. We realize that some kids who had second period here are going to be off campus now because they will have taken the bus to Maine or somewhere else, so they may not be here. And there'll be some of you guys that are here that don't have second period. If you don't have second period here at Kilo, but you are here for the drill, then you go to the library and make sure we get everyone kind of organized and back in place before we dismiss to go on to third period, and we'll come over the announcement to do that. The other thing that I wanted to let you know is, in reality, in the real world, if you are in a lockdown situation, you are safely in some type of locked classroom, room, that kind of thing, no matter what, if you hear Ms. Flores or Officer Hull or myself or anybody that you know our voices, you know us, we're banging on the door saying, it's okay, it's open, the drill's over, or the lockdown's over, not drill, this is in real life. Lockdown's over, you can come out. You never want to do that. You never want to open a door, because in reality, in a real lockdown situation, and Officer Hull can talk more about that, the police have a very specific procedure that they go through in opening every single door one by one, making sure that everything is safe. So the only way you would come out of a lockdown, if it were in a real situation for this, is when the first responders would actually unlock the door themselves, come in, and give you instructions right there.
Yeah, and that's exactly right. We train for this. We do a lot of active shooter scenario-based training in the schools, so we know exactly what we're doing. What she said is exactly what I needed you guys to know, that door will actually be unlocked by somebody with a key. It may not be me, it may be a SWAT officer, it may be a staff member when everything is cleared, but that will be unlocked. You're not going to open the door for anybody.
Oh, good to know. It wouldn't be me. You would ignore us. It would not be me. It would be police officers unlocking the door and then probably checking the room. I mean, I'm guessing in that case.
You will be escorted out of that room.
Yes.
To
It
clear
won't be
And
relaxed.
we will clear the building room by room. And you will be checked to make sure that you're not a suspect hiding amongst other students. You guys will be given specific directions on how to exit the building. I know you've seen videos of prior scenarios, other schools where it's happened, where they come out with their hands on their head or they're holding hands or something. You will be given direction on what to do. So don't panic. We're going to talk you through it and make it as calm and orderly as possible. But you're not going to open the door for somebody who just comes and says, okay, it's all clear.
Right.
And it won't come across as a PA announcement.
However, that being said, we know we're doing a drill. We know this is a drill. We know this is a practice to give everybody kind of an idea of what should I do, what happens if, things like that. So during our lockdown drill tomorrow, at the end of it, Ms. Flores or myself or somebody will come on the announcement at that point and let you know when the drill is over. And so we're not hiding anything. We're not pretending that this is the real deal. We just need you guys to behave as if you really were going into a lockdown, because we need to see the reality of, how long is it going to take to get everyone from the cafeteria into a safe place, or the hallways, or that kind of thing. So it is important that you, just like we've already talked about, we have that sense of urgency, moving very quickly. We're going to expect the teachers to abide, kind of go by that 10-second mindset of, hey, if you're not in their classroom in 10 seconds, their door's going to shut and lock, and you're going to have to find another location. So we want to make sure that we are having a sense of urgency with that. Really, and just basically when you're in a lockdown, just avoid bringing attention to yourself. I mean, that's the whole thing. You wherever it is you are, you don't want the active shooter or the potential issue to follow you there. So you want to be as quiet, and as still as possible to avoid bringing any kind of attention to yourself. So,
Couple of things I want to say. I'm thinking. So the bottom line is you will get somewhere, and you will get somewhere fast if it was ever a real deal. And I think you're going to know. Like, there's not, probably won't even be me coming on and saying, I mean, you will know if that disaster ever hits. We would all know it. And that's the bottom line. Fast, quiet, somewhere. The reason we don't do all the cafeteria in the back rooms, because you couldn't all get there. You have to, these snack bar kids have to come this way. Y'all have to go there, because we need to clear like that, if possible. I mean, that's where a lot of school shooters have started, is the cafeteria. So I'm not sure what would happen, to be honest. But we want everyone to get somewhere as fast as they can. We hate talking about this. It's horrible. Whenever we do these drills, I mean, Hole's going to laugh at me right now, but my eyes actually tear up, because I could not imagine this happening in reality. But we want to practice, because we're going to be as prepared as we can for that. Couple of other things. I want to remind you, everyone should have an ID in this building. You know what? And at this moment, because I just got here from a meeting, I don't have mine on. I've not had it on twice, and kids have caught me on that, and I appreciate that. Always tell your teachers, always tell me, hey, where's your ID? Because we all need it on.
I don't have mine on. You just told me that, so nobody's caught me today.
We are not.
I have
officer
mine
involved
on. It's
Has it
sewn
on.
in, so
That's
I'm
right.
good.
I just got here. I'm just going to say tad bit of an excuse, but
That's
not
right.
really.
I have
should
no
put it
excuse
on.
whatsoever.
So always, and Miss Garrison's not wearing hers, I'm not wearing mine. I want you to say something to us, because we all need it. Luckily, you probably know who we are. Everybody. Substitute had it under his jacket the other day, and I said, could you put that out here, because our kids are going to watch for that. 2, never are you to open a door for anybody. Unless I say, could you please open that door for her? That's fine. But no kids ever, nobody, don't open the door ever. Your teachers have swipes. You should not be opening the door ever.
Not even a student. Not even if it's a student that you know and they're asking to come in through a side door. They should check in through the office. Because
Always.
generally, statistically, shooters are students. So I don't want anybody in here that doesn't belong. And if they're a student here, they need to come through the office like they're supposed to.
And the last thing is, I just want to refresh your memory, because we've had some incidences this year where people have needed to tell. Several that I could think of. And relating to different subjects. You need to tell an adult if someone is hurting you, meaning you're being abused, or someone's bullying you, or someone's being ugly to you. You need to tell someone if someone's going to hurt themselves. They tell you, I think I can't live anymore. I can't. Any of those words, let us determine if that's real or not. You don't need to determine whether that's real or not. They may be kidding, but they may not. So you need to tell an adult, or you want to hurt yourself. But or someone's hurting you. I know someone's hurting Miss Garrison, like her parents at night are hurting her. I need to tell someone. Remember that. I mean, we did have a scary something a few years back, and like 25 kids knew and didn't tell us, because they just thought nothing would happen. Please don't make that judgment. Some of these school shootings, that is how it's happened. No one thought they would really do it. It is best to tell someone, let us see. You know, I was really proud of y'all earlier. So today we had a dance party at Lancaster High School. Do y'all remember it was tweeted, LHS, that y'all came immediately. I mean, we knew as fast as they knew. And I want you to always do that. But for some reason, y'all do it when it's there. But if I tell you, hey, I brought this whatever, and I want to protect myself, or I want something, you won't tell Ben. Mm-hmm. You don't know if I want to protect myself. So just tell. It's better to let someone know. I've really been proud of the kids. They've told several things that were very important and that helped kids. So don't be afraid to be a tattletale in that case, because we'll keep you anonymous, and we need to address it. Anything else, whole general safety that you've seen this whole year?
Just along what she was just talking about, be expecting another video from me about a program that the police department is pushing out called Tip 411. It is specific. I have a specific keyword to this campus. It's an anonymous tip line via text message. and more information is going to be coming on that. You may have seen some posters around school that we put up.
That's
But
awesome.
look for that information as well. It's a great program. You can come see me about it. You can go to any of the counselors. They've been briefed on what it's about. So more information is going to be coming about that.
We always appreciate the way y'all act in any crisis, whether it's a small crisis or big crisis. And we've had some. I don't want to say small because I don't want to downplay them, but they weren't like this, what we're talking about today. And y'all were great. And you were responsible, and you got help, and you came. And so Tuesday, let's have a good drill and just get the feel of it. Bottom line, you would get somewhere. And if you're not, you're going to hide. You're going to hide. And we're going to do our best to protect you and keep everyone safe. So it'll be good to have the drill. We need to drill and practice. And I think we have fire drill coming up some point in January because we do one each month. So thank you, farmers, for being so awesome. Thank you for being a family and letting us know when things aren't right with anybody. We appreciate that. And thank you, Ms. Garrison, for all you're doing. And the
Absolutely.
Officer Holt to keep us safe. Y'all doing an amazing job. Have a good day, everybody.
Thanks.
Bye.
See you later.